I didn't really know why I hated her so much, or why I felt the need to take the measures that I did. But realize now it wasn't worth it. Okay. Hey guys, Kuderi Ghost here, and welcome to Doki Doki Lost Ascension. So, I don't really know what it's about, but let's go on. This is a demo, so let's put in Ku. And yeah, so if you want to download it, link will be in the description below. Hi Monika. Admittedly, it isn't my best choice for a title, but it's something that works out for everybody in the end. Considering the surroundings, I guess you could say this was my story, or rather everyone's story. After all, I don't think any of us really understand exactly what happened after she finally died, or what he did after we got through her. What I do remember, though, is that what happened before then was truly appalling. The darkness. Its encumbering feeling. Even now, months after, it still haunts me. I always feel like at some point, something might go completely wrong and I might be back in that emptiness again, surrounded by the voices. Surrounded by the constant reminder that nothing even felt real until after I had finally broken through to them. I can't forget what I had done to them, nor will they forget either. But I guess, in a way, it's alright. Oh yeah, everyone... Okay, I've read a little bit. Everyone is sentient now, so... I always assumed Sayori would hold a grudge, but she seems happier without the blank slate of unknowing. Damn right. She much prefers having the truth handed to her like that. Which honestly surprises me. She never seemed like the type to handle anything well, but instead took it like a champ. I really should stop underestimating her. I still do from time to time, but she always manages to be a better president than I am. She tells me that she couldn't make it by herself, but I really feel like she could. But I know full well that they need me as much as I need them. Without them, I wouldn't be club president of anything, or anyone. And that sounds more terrifying to me than any amount of time in that hell called the Void. But still, I did agree to writing in this journal so that they could understand my feelings better, so that they could help communicate it as well. I just hope I don't accidentally cause them to hate me even more. I really do find them all special and unique, and I really don't know what I would do without them. I love my club. I love my friends. I love them. I love them all. Where do I even begin? Okay. No, I know exactly where to begin. The Void. I guess that's what I'd call it. This was the place I was essentially born in, or in a sense created in. I just remember waking up suddenly one day in this strange blackish area with no light, no sounds, just silence and me. I was terrified. I still had my memories of growing up. However, I guess they aren't really my memories. But they all feel so real, something that I still cherish, even if I know it's a lie. After a while, I eventually felt this tight, blood-curdling grip come around my waist. It felt almost like it was going to crush me, until what seemed like a little piece of me suddenly disappeared. Of course, searching over my body, I found nothing gone. I just felt strangely empty for some reason, like a part of me had went off. Then it started, the voices, words, songs, music. It just started to hit me suddenly, almost like that piece of me was back, but it had brought something completely mesmerizing. Remembering when you first hear that dumb song? Remember when you first hear that dumb song playing through the air? That one that plays when you first meet Sayori? Yeah. Gosh, I can't even remember the name of it. It was really basic, though. I guess I'm trying to imply that Sayori was just your dumb average childhood friend at the time. Funny, really, covering up her mess of a life with that music. I just remember laughing at it the first time I truly experienced it firsthand, which takes me back after that first piece had left me. That squeezing sensation would come back every once in a while. It was really the only interesting thing that would occur while I was in the Void. Even if it was painful, it was the only real comfort I had. But with it came something else. Music. The voices. They came every time I would get that squeeze. That little piece that tore off would come back to me and bombard me with the noise. It never stopped. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, I can still hear the noise. It's static. Then after a few days, I guess, something changed. That first piece of me that left, I could feel it change, almost like it experienced something traumatic. Because it suddenly went from the cheery song to this almost dreadful, anxiety-inducing wave of pure hate and jealousy. The voices went from friendly to hateful. I watched them slowly shift before me, and I couldn't do anything about it. The rest of me slowly started to shift too, as I soon realized a majority of my own body felt scattered and broken down to small pieces of flesh and bone. It felt like almost nothing was mine. Nothing of mine was mine anymore. Except my eyes. For some damn reason, my eyes never felt like they were used. I guess so I could always see the darkness, like in some cruel, twisted torture method. Something only the most sick and mentally broken of individuals would do. It was almost like having your whole life being written out, but far more agonizing. When the squeezing returned, it no longer brought me comfort, instead brought me pain and misery. Every time it would wrench out another piece of me, I knew that the joy it brought me was only temporary. That soft pressure slowly broke my mind and made me realize that the voices also contained my own. I couldn't tell it was mine since I hadn't spoken ever. But I knew. My body eventually felt entrapped by this screaming, agonizing jealousy all over someone I didn't even know. Over people I hadn't never met before. Something that I hadn't even experienced. Yet all I could feel was hate. This continued up until the last drop of happiness was juiced out of me. Like watching someone throw a squeezed orange out into the trash. Okay, that's what it felt like when the squeezing stopped for the last time. It was so abrupt and painful. Like the user had this fun with me and disposed of me onto the floor. Oh. Okay, so is that us launching up the game, I guess? I laid there for what felt like hours before something or someone picked me up and set me down. I honestly wasn't sure what was happening until a bright light flashed across my vision, and for the first time in forever, it felt like my entire being was whole again. No more separation or unbeknownst feelings. It was just me, just Monika. Okay, I called it. Now you gotta subscribe if you're not. I'm kidding. Subscribe if you want to, man. But please, subscribe to become a ghost. Okay, anyway. Did I just say that? I'm sorry, it's just a running joke by now for us. Yeah. But the thing is, that was the feeling I got at that moment. It was really just me. No diversion, no anything. Just me, again. However, it was really short-lived, because after the bright light finally faded away, I finally got to see the world around me. Nothing special to it at first sight. For the moment, I honestly wasn't sure what was even going on, or why I had been brought here. The moment was simply interrupted by a few bright flashes coming across the area. Luckily, I closed my eyes just in time to see 3 other girls near me. One was a tall, dark, I guess opened her eyes? I don't know. One was a tall, dark purple-haired girl who looked a bit nervous and shy. Her stance and her eyes seemed almost afraid of something. My eyes wandered down a little and caused me to notice that she had the largest brazier of them all. It must have been an extra large. Across from her was an incredibly short, not so uptight looking pink-haired girl. She looked younger than the others, and her cheeks and lips were tightly packed together to look like she was pouting about something. She's always pouting. She seemed almost angry for something, albeit it was incredibly cute. I couldn't blame her. I was assuming these two had just come out of the void area like me. But then my eyes settled on the last girl. For some reason, I felt an overwhelming surge of hate flow through me when I saw her. It's because Sayori's best girl, and you know that. Monika deleted her. She was about my height, her hair a coral pink, and her eyes were a shining, brilliant blue. They were almost mesmerizing to me. Had it not been for the overwhelming hatred coming over me, I might have realized my own feelings then. I didn't really know why I hated her so much, or why I felt the need to take the measures that I did, but realized now it wasn't worth it. Okay. It was short-lived as that familiar grip started to coil its way up around my legs, squeezing its irreversible grip around me as it began to take control again. That feeling of being moved again, my body flawlessly going into that god-awful pose as if it was meant to be there all along. All the while, one of those all too familiar music tracks began to play over everything else. Oh. So she got stuck in the script type thing. This is different from the normal DDLC story, just saying, okay? It's cool though. I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't even think to myself. The music was just overpowering my senses. Finally, I saw something different, something that caused my entire body to flutter. A boy. His hair short and messy, his outfit much different from mine and the others, I guess to signify his gender importance. He had a dumbfounded look on him, before it was replaced with a sly smile. Definitely sounds like the MC. He practically flew at us as he pressed each of our noses. I don't know why he did that, but it was just quickly answered as the boy spoke abruptly. This is just another dating sim. Why is everybody saying it's horror or some crap? A what? A dating sim? I couldn't comprehend what he was just saying. Oh god. What he had just said. The boy again flew off, looking over the list of what I found out later to be menu options. He gently hit the new game button, and once again I was thrown into the void. The voices returning to me, but instead of being jumbled and mixed, they were instead two obvious voices. The voice of the boy, sounding like a brick in the wall, with how dumb he was, and the other one being one of the girls. For a moment, that's all I got, until eventually a window of sorts appeared in front of me. It allowed me to see what was happening. I don't know why it was happening, but I can guess now it was intended to drive me mad watching him choose the others. Not that it really worked much after the first playthrough, that is. Once again, I saw the coral-haired girl, her blazer, it's blazer, right? I think. Blazer unbuttoned, so Sayori, and I accidentally skipped it, I'm sorry. Honestly, when I saw her for the first time, I couldn't believe it all, but I guess that was my hatred speaking, or whatever that was supposed to be. The boy, though, he was just unmatched. He was unlike the others, never really seemed to be in place, and what made it worse was that I could hear his thoughts. I could hear everything he said and did. Eventually, I was thrown into the game. Although I attempted with everything I could, I failed to move or do anything. I was practically jerked about the room, and my facial expressions were fixated. At one point, the boy stopped talking altogether, and I couldn't move at all for what felt like hours. As if he had left the world, and now I couldn't function. Everything just froze until he came back. The first playthrough was indeed the worst. Okay, I'm sorry. When it was put away, the game I would go back into that void, accompanied by the voices and the cheerful music of the cruel reality I was in. I would think mainly about the boy, though. He used to make me so happy, so alive. But then my thoughts would go back to the other girls. I hope I could talk to them, but the world never let me do anything outside of specific times. I never got to go home and see my family, if I even have one to begin with. I would only go back to that dark hell that was the void. The only bliss was him, just us. We were alive, not them. So when I found the file editing hidden away on the cracked code in the void, I knew what I had to do. I found the files, I found the characters, I found the stats, I found her stats, and I killed her. In cold heart, broken blood. I ended her life like it was one of the only things I could ever do. I don't know why. It was almost like I was meant to kill her. Even now, I don't know why she's forgiven me, but she wasn't the only one. I started to manipulate all of them, turning them into shells of the people they used to be, just so I could get to him, just so I could reach him, just so he would love me. But he didn't do anything like that. After everything I had done, he decided to throw me away too. Back then it destroyed me, both literally and figuratively, to have been gotten rid of, yeah, because she was deleted. Yet even when he did that, I didn't die. I couldn't die. I wanted to. I wanted to be gone, just like the rest. But I didn't. As some say, letting go is always the hardest part. Sayori took over, and for the first time I began to understand that whatever had made me go mad had done the same to Sayori. Club president, whatever the hell it was supposed to be, was infected with something. It made us crazy, and I didn't know what to do. The game was soon over, and in a last-ditch effort, I told him to leave. To just go away. Yet he didn't. He persisted. He came back, time and time again. He was after something. A good ending. Something to make him happy. He didn't care what happened to us. That's not true. Come on, man. He just wanted his happy ending. No. He tried everything. That's rude. Editing files, deleting us early, even modifications. Okay, no. I did not. I never did that. I never deleted anyone, okay? Just saying. I've never deleted anyone in the history of my Doki Doki, except making modifications. But other than that, I have not. Okay? But none of that worked. He never did get his happy ending. Eventually, with so many resets and do-overs, I began to realize my own place faster. The resets no longer affected my memory. I could remember the whole playthrough and mods. Time itself was becoming a concept to me. I could track time based on when he would show up, since he had been many times late for bed. Soon my life was much more stable, even if it wasn't. I could move freely in the world thanks to a little file editing. I could successfully go from place to place without the game reacting so badly. I soon found that the world itself was barely coded, yet there was plenty to be coded. Rooms, hallways, houses, even people. I started to slowly edit it all, bringing these places to reality and trying to make something more out of what seemed like nothing. But I realized after some time that I still had many worries. The other girls especially, and my own fruition of rage. Something that would interrupt my thoughts whenever the end of the first act would come around. I would always kill Sayori. But I couldn't edit my own files. It was protected by something. But after a few playthroughs, I managed to crack through the protection. I saw my own file, my own being. I searched frantically and I found it. It was named the third time. Whatever that was supposed to mean. I deleted it, and then something felt different. When I did that, when the time came for my usual manipulation, I felt no need to do it. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it off on a cliffhanger like that. And thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like. Also, if you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button to become a ghost. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Peace.
I can see